Hello lovely people of the internet. Today's the day you've all been waiting for, the most exciting tutorial on the internet. Today we're talking about white balance. What is white balance? We're going to talk about whether you should set your manual white balance, and if you're going to set it manually, how can you do that? Coming up. Light isn't equal, whether you're shooting indoors or outdoors, and whether the sun is shining bright or it is really cloudy outside, light is different. And when light is different, white looks different. For example, in my house, I have a lot of warm ambient lights, which means if I shoot with those lights turned on, my whites would probably look a little bit yellow, which doesn't look very nice, to be honest, and we don't want our footage to look off, do we? We want it to look fancy and nice and professional, and that is why white balance is so important and why we should set our white balance. If you watched my previous video, which I will link up here, you know that white balance corrects lighting. It makes sure that the whites are actually white. But how can you do this? I'm going to explain 3 ways of doing that. There are probably more ways, but I think these 3 ways are the most common ways of doing it. First way is that most cameras and phones nowadays have presets installed on them. And those presets are cloudy weather or daylight weather, and you can just select it based on the location where you're at or the situation that you're in. So if you're outside and it's cloudy, you can select the preset cloudy and it automatically sets the white balance to a cloudy setting. The second option is adjusting the white balance manually by adjusting the number of Kelvin. If you go for a very low number, that means that you're going to go for cold colors, so that would offset a very warm environment, and vice versa. The third option is to set your white balance manually by taking a photo of something white. And I'm going to recommend taking a photo of a white card rather than a white piece of paper or something like that. However, I do take a photo of a white piece of paper and set my white balance that way, but I know that there are some critics out there. They will tell you that a white piece of paper is actually not white, and that's why I'm advising you to take a photo of a white card, but feel free to take a photo of anything that's actual white. So then when you take that picture, your camera will know that's supposed to be white and it will adjust the white balance accordingly. Now, I've talked a lot about setting your white balance, so basically doing it manually, but do you really have to? I would say yes, but it depends. For example, if you're vlogging and if you're shooting in a bunch of different locations, rely on auto white balance because it's gonna save you a bunch of time, and I think auto white balance has come such a long way that you don't need to worry about that too much. However, if you're filming more professionally, or if you're filming where nothing is really changing, then I would suggest setting your white balance manually to get the best results. I also think that shooting everything manually is the best way to go, because your camera knows a lot. Like, today's cameras know a lot, but they don't know everything, and that's why you're there. So I think by setting everything manually, you will get the best results, and you will get the best results that also fit your needs. But regardless of whether you're going to use automatic white balance or manual white balance, I would suggest trying out manual white balance anyways, because setting it manually, you can explore the setting, you can get to know it, and it is always good to get to know your camera and get to know it from the inside out. Now, if you forget to set your white balance and it looks a little bit off, it looks a little bit too warm or too cold, too green, too purple or magenta, don't worry about it, because you can always push it a little bit in post. You can always tweak it a little bit to make it look better. So don't worry about it if you forget to set your white balance or change your manual settings. Especially if you're taking photos in RAW, you have a lot of dynamic range, so you can definitely push your settings here and there to make it look better. It definitely happened to me, or even happens to me, when I'm shooting in automatic white balance and sometimes my camera just doesn't get it right, that I need to adjust it in post. Shit happens, but it's okay. And in most cases with nowadays technology, auto white balance will definitely save your ass, especially with vlogging. And if it's still off, you can always fix it in post. I really hope that everything makes sense, and I really hope that if you enjoyed the video or if it was useful to you, that you consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you will be notified when more videos like these will come out. Thank you so much for watching. Hello, I just locked a fly in my kitchen. Seriously though, the fly is here! And whether the sun is shining tutorial. I just bit my lip. Oh my god. This fly is killing me!
Thank you.